Hello, I'm Gil Zilkha. Welcome to Essential Classical Music. This video is taken from my larger video on the consensus reference recordings of the core classical music repertoire. Not my choices, but rather the collective critical consensus that has filtered down through the years, across generations, across continents, to which you have also contributed. And if you agree with my choices, or if you think the consensus lies elsewhere, as always, feel free to comment, and I hope you enjoy it. And now we come to the final composer in this survey, Wagner. Let's start with Die Meistersinger von Nürnberg. This is one that is famously lucky on record. So it's hard to choose one reference recording. You're tempted to choose 4 or 5. But I will say that, particularly lately, there is sort of a coalescence of critical opinion in favor of one recording above all the others, and it's this one. It's a little bit hard to find. It's the one conducted by Raphael Kubelik. It's with the It's with the Bavaria Radio Symphony Orchestra and Chorus. Thomas Stewart is portraying Hans Sachs. And it's just really pretty much universally regarded in terms of the performance quality, even amongst all these other great versions that have come before it. Really, the hardest thing about it is just the availability. What label is this? I don't even know what. Let's see. This is the Arts Archives, I believe, is the name of this label. So it's a little harder to find, but in terms of critical consensus, I think it is by a small margin the pick for Meistersingers. Parsifal is a little bit easier. We have that one conductor, you know, that's sort of married to this piece. I mean, we have like I think a dozen versions by him, maybe even more, conducting it at Bayreuth, and they're all at Bayreuth. They're all live. The most famous of which is this one. So Hans Knappertsbusch with Jess Thomas as Parsifal. This is his 1962 Bayreuth recording. Pretty good sounding recording. I tend to prefer actually the 1951 version, even though it's not quite as well recorded. But this one is definitely the best recorded, and so it's gotten the most critical praise. So not a very difficult choice for Parsifal. Now the ring cycle, das Ring der Ring des Nibelungen. And this one's pretty easy in terms of fame. And that's the Georg Solti version, one of the most famous classical recordings of all time. A little bit like the Clyburn, Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto No. 1. This one's almost as famous for how many people say it's overrated as it is for being rated so highly. But what's the old saying? You have to be rated to be overrated. You know, it's the ring cycle. I mean, there's always going to be big debate, and it's like a 15-hour opera. You know, 4 operas. So it's already difficult enough to, first of all, to listen to an entire cycle, much less grade it. But this one is you know, it's definitely a landmark in recording history, and the one that by and large still holds its place. And then finally we come to Wagner's iconic Tristan und Isolde, and this one we're going to start with a mono version that was a reference since it was first came out, and I think still retains its place. The one conducted by Wilhelm Furtwängler with one of the most famous Wagnerians of all time, Kirsten Flagstad as Isolde, and Ludwig Suthaus is Tristan. You know, this is considered Wagner from as close as you can get to the horse's mouth in terms of interpretation, and it's pretty good sound quality, even though it's mono. However, we do have a stereo version from Bayreuth that also is considered iconic, and that's this one with Carl Böhm from Bayreuth in the late 60s. With Birgit Nilsson as Isolde and Wolfgang Wingassen as Tristan. So I think this one can also serve as a co-reference. As iconic as this one is, that shows you how good this one is too. So they both occupy those positions. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, I hope you'll also take time to click the like and subscribe buttons. And with that, I want to wish you all a great day and happy listening.